Morning! February weekender. Let's be having you. Weekender. Well, overnight session. Back on the Earn. Yeah, you know I'm on the Earn. I'm not unsupervised today. I have the responsible adult Mr. Hitch with me. It's actually a change. Usually the wind's kind of in my face, kicking the shit out of me. So I've kind of fished on the other side of the loch where the wind isn't in my face, kicking the shit out of me. Kind of feels weird not having like the wind and the waves and the weather beating the crap out of us. But 4 rods in, I have a big pollen, I have a smelt, a trout. What have I put in that? Mackerel. So all fish ledgered on the bottom. You know, should be good. It should be good. The sun has just literally kind of risen. What time is it? It's just gone 10:15. So might have a celebratory cup of coffee. I just got the bivvies and everything up. It's not a long walk from here to the van, but you have to kind of find the hardest ground to put the bivvy in. You don't want to be set up in a marsh. So fingers crossed we get some pike. Gonna do a bit of pre-baiting. Gonna pre-bait with chocolate brownies. Just kidding. The chocolate brownies are for me. But we are gonna chuck in some of this stuff. This is krill ground bait. Some old leftover pellets I had from carp fishing in the summertime, and chopped up mackerel. And I've mixed it with some DNA baits. Hydroslit, which is basically pre-digested salmon. So this is just about ready to get kind of spotted in. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spot it in front of us and create a bit of a smell. That's Mr. Hitch's rods. Oh. It's been quiet, there's not been any runs. We're getting kind of, the wind every now and then kicks, like a proper kicks up. The wind is hacking this way, and because we're in a little dip in the ground, the bivvy is kind of out of the way of the wind, which is great, but it gives you a little bit of a false sense of how strong the wind is. Because when I cast the bait out that way, you know, I'm sitting watching white horses cutting down that far side of the island, and then they're coming down and smashing off this bit of an island in front of us. So there's a lot of wind pushing stuff this way, which isn't bad. It just means that if there's fish in the upper columns, they're going to get pushed around. But it's amazing watching the clouds. I mean, there's a massive cloud bank just over there, and it's pissing with rain, and over there it's beautiful blue sky. So it is unbelievable how things are going at the minute, weather-wise. So I'm actually enjoying today, even though we haven't had a pike yet. I think everyone's getting tortured by the wind. I've watched a swan trying to get out of its nest here across from me on an island, and it kind of gets up and tries to take a step forward, then gets battered by the wind and pushed back down into its nest again. So the wind is pulling through a fair bit. Oh, what's the bets? This is wind again. fish are back. The weed fish are back. So none of my, in fact there's only one of my rods in the water at the minute. And I've just fired up the barbecue there. So, and as soon as I fired up the barbecue, the fucking rain begins. You can't win. But it isn't all bad. Gonna have a cup of coffee. Have a coffee and make something to eat, because you just couldn't deal with today with the weather changing as crap as it is. And I don't know, man. I'm not even sure what's going on. You know, the day started off a little bit of wind, but now that the wind is really hacking down, it's just ripping all the shit down this way. So, Mr. H has weed fish, so I'm not the only one. Time for something, I think. Now, if the weather would only stay like this, I can manage this. What I can't manage is like wind hacking down this way so much that it knocks over the rod pod. That's not cool. The sun's just went down over the hill there behind us, so we're at the witching hour. So far today we have been given a kicking with weed. The weed has been terrible. It has been epic. You know, not epic as in good, as in epic as in fuck me, this is awful. But I had one drop run, I wound down and bumped and got the jag and it was off. That was on a pollen. So got the campfire going. I'm quite enjoying the campfire. Just need the Pike to turn up and give us all a show now.
The next morning.
Definite change in the weather this morning. Yesterday the wind was heading, you know, that way, you know, pretty much solid that way. Now we've woke up in the morning and the wind is coming this way. But it's okay. Sleeping bag kept me warm. The only reason I was out of my sleeping bag was because I was struck with the overwhelming urge to take a piss, which meant getting all this ridiculous clothing on to run out and take a piss. So while I'm up, I've got the kettle on the brew, gonna get the coffees made, then I'm gonna have some breakfast. But I'm gonna turn you around, so if the audio goes to shit, then it's not my fault. It's just the awful, the wind that we're in. That's the view from the tent when you look out, or the bivvy when you look out. You see this sunrise. Now, I haven't just like literally woken up. It's like, well, we're up for about an hour, but it was a comfortable night. Bed chair didn't let me down. I've got 3 out of the 4 rods in. I'm just going to put the 4th rod in. But it's cold. It's something warm. there's that little gremlin in the back of my head going, go back to bed, sit in the sleeping bag. In fact, that wind that's coming down is battering my ears. We fished about midnight last night and then called time. Last night it was a magnificent clear sky. We were kind of sat counting the star constellations. You know, going back, taking me back to my primary school days when you were like that, this is the Big Dipper, and this is Orion's Belt, and this is this one, and this one, this one. And you're like, as an ignorant little kid, you're going, they're just stars. But gonna get coffee, get breakfast, then take the bivvy down, because it's apparently going to start to rain pretty heavily from about, you know, I think it's from about 10 o'clock, half 10. So it's about 7 o'clock in the morning here, so we've got 3 hours. Take that bivvy down, pack it away, get it in the van with the sleeping, the bed chairs. That way when we come to pack up, if it's pissing with rain, we're only packing up, you know, the smaller stuff. Trying to stay organised. Right, let's get a 4th rod in and then get some coffee. Cracking view though, isn't it? That's what we wake up and we see. And people wonder why we come fishing.
20 minutes later.
Cooking! Today we're having brandy cured back bacon. So we have to cheer ourselves up because we haven't caught any fucking fish.
Yep. See an explosion or sudden burst of flames, do not panic.
Not smelling any brandy.
Beautiful morning though. This dog's not going to get away with not going on the island this morning.
No, it's definitely going.
3rd time lucky. No, unlucky.
Bacon and black pudding. Breakfast of champions.
And brown sauce.
Yeah.
Or a bit of barbecue, whatever takes your fancy.
Just then.
Yeah.
It's a double,
Yeah, definitely a double.
Come on, calm down.
I see the side of his mouth there. But yeah, he's been feeding, hasn't he? Better than the last ones we've caught.
Take it. No, it's alright, it's just in this flap here a wee bit. See, it has been damaged.
Yeah, see that. Yep.
Its jaw's been pushed in, right? fish.
Get a couple of pictures over here now.
Mr. H could be in here. Nope, this will be fish. So, this was what the BBC weather forecast said. It's just gone 2:15. I am now at home. Trying to do anything in driving rain and 46, 47 mile an hour winds was just no good. No good. So we bugged out, called it quits, and finished for the day. Yesterday there was some quite heavy rains and winds yesterday, but they were going the exact opposite direction. So when I picked the location to fish, the location that we picked to fish was hiding, in the natural dip of the ground. So the wind kind of blew over our heads, which kind of sheltered us from yesterday's mega winds. Unfortunately, this morning the wind is right, cutting the other way. So it's not so much in our face. It's not smacking your face. It's just gone from where before it was kind of going to the right, it's just come to the left, and I was like, what the fuck? Waking up this morning, again, we didn't put the bivvy door down, which was probably a mistake. None of us were fishing throughout the whole night, so we could have just zipped up the bivvy and chilled out. But I woke up this morning, sleeping bag kept me toasty warm. Sleeping bag was awesome. Bed is awesome. This thing behind me, you can see it. Amazing bed chair, cracking bed chair. I can't say enough good words about it. Only negative I have is that it's a bit heavy, but it is what it is. You get what you pay for. So I'm happy enough with the Fox R3 bed chair and the sleep system stuff. Broke out the big bivvy that was in the XXL JRC quad bivvy, which was kind of cool because there was two of us again. And then we just had a little brolly beside us so that we could sort of cook and chill out and sit down. It was a good session. The first day we were there, the Saturday, we didn't catch a thing. I had one run on a pollen, and I thought it was weed, so I never really set the hooks as well as I should. I just felt the bump and then off. Today, we'd just finished breakfast. Really nice breakfast, really enjoyed breakfast. And the rod went on a mackerel tail, and it was the fish that you've seen in the video. So it wasn't blank. I caught a fish. It was a nice fish. There was some damage on the inside of its jaw before I released it. Basically one of the sides of its mouth had folded in on itself, so I unfolded it back so it's in the position it should be. And well, that should be the that fish back. Didn't affect why it was. The fish was feeding, the fish was healthy, it was a fat fish. To me, that's a fish that's feeding up to go and spawn. I've seen pictures of ern fish where they've been long, lean, and they've been tore to shit. Really, really bad condition. And people are saying maybe they've been spawning. On the locations that they're telling me these are from, I would argue these are gill net damage. I wouldn't say that they're being ate by a bigger pike. I would say it's gill nets that's making the damage in those fish. And when I explained to them that the gill nets tend to kind of just strip the scales down the sides of the fish, and it really fucks up the back of their head, the back of their neck. they all kind of went, okay, we can see that now looking at the picture. You know, thankfully on the upper side of Loch Earn there's no gill nets allowed, but no legal gill nets. You still get poaching bastards. But on the big loch, the lower loch, there is still netting, which is shit. Those nets are on a license to a human being. As long as he is alive, he has that license. Once he expires, so does his license. So the netting will stop one day. It is what it is. I'm now going to unload a van, take all this stuff out. The last finished breakfast, caught that fish, and the weather changed on a sixpence. It went from, you know, a nice day, a little bit of a breeze, to holy shit, where's this driving rain come from? The weather forecast yesterday said the driving rain wasn't meant to be here until 4 o'clock. So we had planned to have the whole thing camped, put away, loaded up the vans, fished about 4, then disappear. The rain came at 12, so it came early. So BBC, the Lions, sons of bitches. But apart from that, wasn't a blank. Had a good session. I'm going to try and get another one overnighter in February. So I'm going to try and do another overnighter in February. But now I'm going to. Oh, that's right. I didn't even get to test the Road Monkey, the Ridge Monkey toilet. I have a Ridge Monkey toilet, and I never got to test it. So now that I'm home, I'm going to make full use of porcelain. So until next time, chaps, tight lines. Oh, and to do the YouTube shit. If you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe the videos. If you don't, well then go and sit in your thumb. Until next time, troops, tight lines.